So let's just jump right in. What if I told you the secret to finally sticking with those hard habits? Waking up early, hitting the gym, all that stuff, wasn't about finding more willpower. What if you could actually reprogram your brain to make those tough things feel, well, easy? In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to do just that.
This right here, this single sentence is the whole key. It's from a former smoker, and it perfectly nails the feeling you get when you break a bad habit, not by fighting it, but by changing your mind about it completely. You go from feeling like you're sacrificing something to feeling like you've been set free. And it all starts with a pretty cool story.
All right, so a few years back, I'm in this old apartment in Istanbul, just hanging out with some friends. Now, every single one of them, except for me, had been a heavy pack-a-day smoker. But here's the crazy part. Half of them had quit, for good. And they didn't use patches or gum or anything like that. They all did it with a book.
This book was their secret weapon. One of my friends told me that it doesn't just nag you to stop. No, it fundamentally changes how you see the act of smoking. It basically frees you from what he called the mental burden of smoking by just dismantling all the reasons you think you're doing it.
And here's the core strategy, the reframe. The book just goes on the attack. First, it tells you think you're quitting something, you're losing absolutely nothing of value. Then it says, you think you needed to be social? Nah, you can be social without it. And the real kicker, you think it relieves stress? It's actually the cause of your stress. It's destroying your nerves. It just flips every single argument on its head.
So the end goal here is to make the entire act of smoking seem completely ridiculous. And think about it. When you no longer believe a habit gives you any benefits, when you see it as a totally pointless act, well, why would you do it? There's just no reason left. It's a total inversion of how we normally try to break bad habits. But how does this actually work in the brain?
Okay, let's get into the science. To really understand how to reprogram our habits, we have to know where our cravings even come from. Why do you get that sudden urge to check social media, or play a video game, or grab some junk food? The answer, it turns out, is way, way deeper than you might think.
So every single habit you have is really working on two levels. You've got the surface craving, which is specific, like I want to browse social media. But underneath that, there's a much deeper, more ancient motive, like I want to connect and bond with other people. Your brain didn't evolve to want Instagram, it evolved to want connection and social approval.
And just look at this table. It's fascinating, right? Our most modern habits are just shiny, new ways to satisfy our oldest, most primitive instincts. We're browsing Facebook because we need to connect. We're posting on Instagram because we want to win acceptance. We're playing video games to feel a sense of status. Every app, every platform, it's just a high-tech fix for an ancient human need.
So if our habits are just solutions, how does our brain pick one over the other? Well, it might feel like we're just reacting to life as it comes at us, but that's not what's happening. Your brain is actually a prediction machine. It's constantly guessing what you should do next based on everything that's happened before.
And this whole process is running in the background all the time. It all starts with a cue. You see something, you feel something. Your brain instantly runs a prediction, like a tiny little simulation based on past experiences. And that prediction, that's what determines your action. This little three-step loop is the invisible engine driving almost everything you do.
And this is the absolute heart of it. The real cause of your habits isn't the thing in the outside world. It's the prediction your brain makes about it. It's why two people can see the exact same cue, let's say a cigarette, and have completely opposite reactions. One person's brain predicts, relief, and they feel an urge. The other person's brain predicts, disgust, and they're repulsed. The cue is identical. The internal prediction is everything.
So a craving is really just a signal that you want to change how you feel right now. It's the gap between your current state and the state you want to be in. You don't actually crave a potato chip or a like on Instagram. What you really truly crave is to feel different. You want to go from bored to entertained, from anxious to calm, from lonely to connected. That's the real driver.
Okay, so we've got the theory down. How do we actually use this to our advantage? How do we make the hard habits, the ones that are actually good for us, feel attractive? Let's get into two super simple but seriously powerful mindset shifts you can start using today.
First up, the reframe. This is so simple it's almost silly, but it works. Think about all the things you feel like you have to do. The trick is to change one tiny word. You don't have to wake up early, you get to wake up early and have a quiet morning. You don't have to cook dinner, you get to provide a meal for your family. It shifts the entire feeling from a burden to an opportunity.
This is maybe the most powerful example of a reframe I have ever heard. A man in a wheelchair was once asked if being confined to it was difficult. And he said, "I'm not confined to my wheelchair. I am liberated by it. If it wasn't for my wheelchair, I would be stuck in bed and I would never be able to leave my home." That simple shift in perspective completely changes the meaning of his entire daily life. It's just, wow.
Okay, technique number 2 is all about creating a motivation ritual. This is where you very deliberately pair a habit you want to build with something you already enjoy. You're basically creating a new positive prediction for your brain to latch onto.
So here's how you do it. The writer and boxer Ed Lattimore noticed that he would feel super focused just by putting his headphones on, even if there was no music playing. He had trained himself. He would put on headphones, play music he loved, and then do his focused work. After doing that over and over, the simple cue of putting on his headphones became automatically linked with the feeling of focus. The craving to focus just followed naturally.
So, the big takeaway from all this is that you have the power to reprogram your own mind. Your habits are not set in stone. They are built on predictions. And if you can intentionally change those predictions, if you can reframe your associations and build new rituals, you can literally transform a hard habit into something you find attractive. You can actually learn to enjoy the process.
And it really brings us to the final question I want to leave you with. What's one hard, challenging habit in your life that, with just a small shift in perspective, you could actually learn to enjoy? What burden could you turn into an opportunity? Think about it. Hey, if this explainer helped you see your habits in a new light, do us a huge favor. Smash that like button, share this with a friend who might get something out of it, and definitely subscribe to Myrex Media for more ideas that can change the way you think. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.